Further debate? I recognize the member for Guelph.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I rise today to defend Ontario's place in the fast-growing clean economy. The Ford government may be interested in building goofy signs, but their that we're open for business, but their actions actually tell a completely different story. Unfortunately, Bill 34 tells jobs creators in the clean economy that Ontario is closed for business to the fastest-growing sector in the global economy. The $26 trillion clean economy is an opportunity that Ontario cannot close the door to. Globally, 2/3 of power generation investment last year was in renewable energy. China actually, believe it or not, led the way with 45% of solar installations in the world. And the reason it's happening is not necessarily because it's green, it's because it's the lowest cost option. Globally now, more people work in the renewable energy sector than in the oil and gas sector. And again, China is leading the way, believe it or not, 3.5 million people employed in renewables. Even in Canada, as we speak today, more people work in the renewable energy sector in Canada than work in the oil and gas sector. And this is despite the fact that the oil and gas sector has received and continues to receive billions of dollars in subsidies, and they've received those subsidies for decades now. Studies show that every dollar invested in renewable energy creates 7 times more jobs than the same dollar.
Stop the clock, please. The members from Ottawa Centre and Markham-Stouffville will respect the fact that they are not indeed the speakers at this time. Thank you. Come to order. I return to the member from Guelph.
I appreciate that. Thank you, Madam Speaker. For every dollar invested in renewable energy, you create 7 times more jobs than the same dollar invested in the oil and gas sector. So I ask, Madam Speaker, why is the Premier closing the door to the clean economy in Ontario? And so, on behalf of my constituents in Guelph, I want to be on the record today that Guelph is open for business when it comes to the clean economy. Despite the Premier's anti-clean economy actions, I want investors and job creators around the world to know, come to Guelph and invest. Guelph City Council has made a commitment to be carbon neutral by 2050. They've made a commitment that our city will be powered by 100% renewable energy by 2050. Madam Speaker, Guelph is skating to where the puck is going to be, not where it's been. And I believe we should follow the great ones' ideas when it comes to economic investment. So I want those same economic benefits to flow to communities all across Ontario. And so let's be clear. The previous Liberal government made huge mistakes in the way they implemented the Green Energy Act. As a matter of fact, I was the first political party leader in Ontario way back in 2010 to speak out against the way in which the Liberals were implementing the Green Energy Act. I was? No, I have a speech on it too. Believe me, a lot of environmental groups called me and were very upset about my criticism of it, because I knew that it would lead to problems further down the road. But here's the reality is the previous government bought a little bit of renewable energy at a really high price. But now that the price is really low, the current government's getting out of the game. This buy high, sell low strategy just doesn't work. It doesn't work for investing. It doesn't work for economics. And so I know that my comments today, I'm going to be voting against Bill 34, by the way. And I'm mostly voting against it because it singles out, as the member from Kingston and the Islands pointed out, it singles out renewable energy to prove market demand and doesn't apply it to any other source of energy. So why is the government targeting renewables and not looking at the big picture? And so I know that the whips won't allow you to vote against Bill 34. So I want to talk about 2 things that I'd ask the members opposite to consider as we move forward. First of all, make it clear to global investors that you may be opposed to the way in which the Liberals rolled out renewable energy, but you're not opposed to renewable energy, period. Unfortunately, by targeting renewables, that's the message you're sending. And I don't think we should send that message to global investors. So if you could make that clear, I think that is critically important to say that publicly and be on the record. The second thing I'm calling on the government to do is to conduct an independent public review of all sources of power generation. Renewable, non-renewable, include Quebec and Manitoba water power, include energy efficiency and conservation. I over and over again asked the Liberal government to conduct an independent public review so we could have an honest conversation about energy prices in this province, so we could make a decision that put the people of Ontario first instead of it being driven by ideology. And so I would ask the government to do that, because here's the reality. You know, when Darlington's rebuilt, you're going to be looking at 16 cents a kilowatt hour nuclear power. And Guelph Solar tells me they can build solar now at 8 cents a kilowatt hour. We can buy Quebec water power for 5 cents a kilowatt hour. So I don't want to get into the details of that debate today, but I'm asking you, conduct an independent public review so we can make an informed decision that benefits the people of Ontario moving forward. Thank you, Madam Speaker.